Hi, my name is Sandra and this is Fibroids, the Oil Well, as part of the Understand to Heal series. Just a short disclaimer to say that I'm not a doctor, neither am I a healthcare professional, but I am a nutritionist who has previously suffered from fibroids and has tried to look for a more natural form to find healing. And that's what I'd like to share with you today. Okay, today we will talk about types of fats, the importance in the diet, inflammation implications, the inspiration behind this presentation today, a research study, how we can apply that to diet as therapy, the significance to uterine health, the application and the monitoring process, and also we'll conclude with a summary. So types of fats. Well, fats are one of the macronutrients, should I say, along with protein and also carbohydrates. So fats are subdivided into different groups. We have the saturated fats, which are usually solid at room temperature, and they are mostly from animal sources, but there are some exceptions to the rules, such as coconut and palm oil. Because of their chemical structure, they're generally more stable. They're more stable at room temperature, and they generally have a higher smoke point. So they can take a little bit more heat if you're going to use it, and so that makes them a bit more suitable for cooking purposes. Then you have the mono and the polyunsaturated type oils, and they are usually liquid at room temperature, and they're generally from plant sources such as olive oil and also sunflower oil and rapeseed oil. So what is the importance in the diet? Well, they're an energy-dense food. So gram for gram, they have double the amount of calories in them than if you were to compare them with protein food source or carbohydrate food source such as rice. So they have 9 kilocalories per gram, and according to the dietary reference value, we need at least 33% of them in the diet, although there are some all fats are not created equal, and some are more beneficial to the health than others. So the fats, what do fats do? Well, they provide structure to the cell, and they also insulate the cell, and also the hormones as well. They're needed for hormone production, as well as the neurons and the nerve cells, and also needed for the immune system. So they have quite a few functions in the body. So the essential fatty acids, in particular, we need at least 6% of the fats that we consume to count to be of essential fatty acids, and they are natural anti-inflammatories. They are polyunsaturated oils, and they need to be obtained from the diet, and they can be called linoleic acids and linolenic acids. We can find them in fish and also fish oils. The fish would be generally fatty type fish, such as salmon and sardines, and also they may be called omega-3 oils, which our body then converts to EPA, eicosapentaenoic acids, and DHA. Our body converts it to these oils that are needed for vision, also for brain function, and also for skin health. The omega-3s can be obtained from plant sources such as chia seeds and also flax seeds or linseeds. However, if you are getting them from the flax or linseed, you do need to grind the seeds, because otherwise the shell does such a good job of protecting its oils that it will part if you eat it. The seed whole, the flaxseed whole, it'll pass straight through your system without being digested, so you'll not get the benefit of the oils. And then so when it's in the omega-3 form, in the plant form, it's called alpha-linoleic acid, and you can get it from the plant source. However, it's a lot more internal processes in order to convert it to the substance that we need. So sometimes our body might not be as effective at converting it into the EPA and the long chain fatty acids that we essentially need. And also the omega-6, which is converted to gamma-linoleic acid. That is something that can also be obtained, but again, that also has to go through a conversion process, and as we advance in age, we're not always as effective as converting in our system, so we may not get the benefits of that. The ratio to omega-3 to omega-6 is generally around, optimal ratio is thought to be about 3:1, although on a minimum should be at least 5:1, so you're at least getting some omega-3, and the more omega-3 you can get into your diet, omega-3 type oils into your diet, the better, because the excess omega-6 type oils have been associated to be pro-inflammatory. So the inflammation implications, yeah. So the essential fatty acids are known to mediate inflammatory conditions, one of which would be our cardiovascular health, such as conditions such as high blood pressure, atherosclerosis, which is the blocking of the arteries, that might be down to that, and also raised bad cholesterol levels. So the essential fatty acids has been studied and shown to be beneficial in some cases. They work on the blood system, and they have the ability to thin the blood and prevent it from clotting, and so it may be useful in raised blood pressure or high blood pressure. They are rich in, especially the fish oils, are rich in vitamin A, which is good for the eyes, and it's also an antioxidant. Vitamin E, which is also good for your skin health, and that also is a powerful antioxidant. And vitamin D, which is essential for bone health, because we need vitamin E in order to absorb calcium. And so we're looking at going into perimenopause and menopausal years. Women are at greater risk of heart disease, and also at greater risk of osteoporosis, which is the brittling of the bones. And so these are types of oils that would be beneficial to include in the diet. Although vitamin D you can obtain from the sun in the skin, we convert our skin. The sunshine is converted in our skin to vitamin D. It might not be enough if you're living in a climate that doesn't see so much bright. We might not be getting enough each day, or if we're covering up. So it's always a good idea to supplement. And also it can help with dry skin conditions such as eczema. And the GLA, which is from the omega type 6, the polyunsaturated oil, it's actually found in breast milk, and it contains a hormone-like substance that's converted to prostaglandin E1, which is an anti-inflammatory that has been studied to be of use. So what is the inspiration behind today? Well, it's in the scripture, it's a passage from David, which says, anoint my head with oil. It's quite a famous passage, Psalm 23, anoint my head with oil and my cup runneth over. So what is the significance? Well, in the scripture, the presence of oil denotes divine royalty and also blessing and also abundance. So it's got quite significance in scripture. So what does the science say? Well, if in science we know that oils is very important, but we looked at a particular research study. I looked at γ-Linolenic acid, and this one was found to be a very powerful anti-inflammatory and had anti-proliferation activities, which is uncontrolled cell growth, which is one of the characteristics of tumor formation. And however, γ-Linolenic acid, or GLA, must be obtained from the diet, because our ability to convert into the dihomer γ-Linolenic acid is decreased with age, and also with obesity. It's decreased overweight and obesity, and also with conditions such as diabetes. So it's in the study they found it was a very effective. It had effective anti-inflammatory abilities, and they said it may even be of use in conditions such as rheumatoid arthritis. So if we're going to apply that to diet as therapy, we'll look at where γ-Linolenic acid, the omega-3 oil, is found. And evening primrose oil is found in evening primrose oil at 7 to 10 grams per 100 grams, and it was basically evening primrose oil has been used traditionally in Native American cultures for the use for menopausal symptoms and also menstrual symptoms. So it's a long history of use. You can also find it in blackcurrant seed oil. There's more in blackcurrant seed oil, and finally borage or starflower oil as well. That's got the greatest amount of GLA. However, I kind of focused on using evening primrose oil because I know that it has been used traditionally for female symptoms. It has a long history of use. However, it is not recommended for people who suffer from epilepsy or manic depression. So what is the significance to uterine health? Well, chronic cell inflammation and cell proliferation are the hallmarks of uterine fibroid growth. So by including a GLA, it will activate the pathways that may reduce inflammation. And because anytime you have inflammation, that is equal to damage cell damage, and also will bring about a certain amount of pain. I, for one, know once I started including the evening primrose oil into my diet, I found that my symptoms, my uterine fibroid symptoms, were greatly reduced. And so I found that it was very beneficial for me to use. So anytime you are including anything, you need to monitor. There's one test you can monitor for inflammation, which is called the C-reactive protein, or the CRP level tests. The lower numbers represent the less inflammation, and the less inflammation you have, the better. So that's just one of the tests that you can have, or you can request from your doctor or healthcare provider. But there are also medical test centres that will provide the tests on a private basis, where you get the report from the doctor and you get to test at home. And I will leave the link in the description of an organisation that does these tests, and that is an affiliate link if you want to do that. I mean, I always advocate that it's good to know about your body. So if you've got that good relationship with your doctor, that's fine, go there. But if you want to try another organisation, as long as you can kind of find out what's going on, they do a range of tests, and this is just one of them. So also, when you're including anything, look out for any allergic reactions or anything that might not be going right. You can write it down in a diary. We do a 3-day food diary, or any diary, as long as you're recording. And also, if you have any adverse reactions, stop. It's always good to stop. And okay, and if you are considered to be one of the at-risk groups that we talked about before, such as epilepsy or manic depressants, it's really not one that you probably want to include into your diet or supplement. So in summary, oils and fats are needed for cell structure, also the integrity, and also insulation. The essential fatty acids are natural anti-inflammatories that have a beneficial effect on the heart, nerve, and brain function. Essential fatty acids must be obtained from dietary sources such as animals and plants. We'll see that in fish oils, seed oils, and flax, fish such as salmon. The omega-3s and omega-6 optimal intake should be a 3-to-1 ratio, but in a minimum it should be 5-to-1. And the gamma-linolenic acids, the GLA, can reduce inflammation and have an anti-proliferation ability. And it's best to supplement it because we have a reduced ability to synthesize it from other sources as we age. So just a disclaimer to say this information in this presentation is intended for information only. Further research is recommended to assist you in making an informed health decision. It is not a substitute for medical advice. If you have a pre-existing medical condition, consult your doctor or healthcare provider before making any changes to your medical regime to manage your condition to your wellness.